Good afternoon, everybody. So, the last time I mentioned, the studying about mind is very important because we talk about happiness, also we talk about suffering. When we say happiness is nothing more and less than the kind of sense of feeling. When we say I am suffering, I have a suffering, I am suffered, and also this means the suffering also nothing more and less than the sense of feeling. And also as a Buddhist, we always wish to achieve Buddhahood, enlightenment. So when we say enlightenment also nothing more than the state of mind. State of mind. For example, if somebody achieve nirvana at this moment, when we look at the person's body, we cannot see any differences yesterday and today, and also the body cannot see differences before enlightenment and after enlightenment. But we can see only differences in the mental state. So, without having good knowledge about minds, then so difficult to have a basic idea about all phenomena. Also so difficult to have a pure sense of compassion, and also so difficult to have a very pure kind of faith into Dharma, into Buddha and Sangha. So studying about mind is very important. So that's why I will try to explain you what does mean mind. So before we talk about minds, first we need to know the differences between minds and matter, the physical thing. First, we should ask question ourselves, is the mind is like a physical thing or non-physical thing? Yes, I think everybody going to say the mind is not physical things, it is non-physical. Then, so what is the differences between minds and matter or the physical things? As I mentioned before, the minds never take space. And mind is not really abstract things, abstract phenomena. Mind is non-abstract phenomena. So here, what does mean abstract? For example, all the physical things, they take space. For example, here's a two thing, right? If I try to put two things together, yes, I can put on the one table, but this thing never, leave the space on the books. Look at the books has their own space. The glass case has their own space. It's totally different space. It takes space. Second, the physical thing we're not able to develop limitlessly. For example, yes, you can build 200 stores of building, but you cannot build 500 or 600 or 1,000 store building. There's always, the physical thing has always limitation. The mind's, the mental factor is not same as the physical things. For example, first you able to develop compassion towards your family, then you can extend the compassion furthermore. Further, you can have a sense of compassion for all sentient beings equally. So the mind we can develop, always develop, limitlessly. This is also another difference between minds and the physical things. So the mind is not just only one. There's so many different types of minds, and also we can divide into 6 different ways. Mind is not just only one. And also when we say the physical body also not just only one. It has so many different parts. It is said the mind is not just only one. It has so many different types of minds and different types of emotions, and different types of positive minds and negative minds. So before we go talk about more about mind and mental factors, first we need to know, there's the minds. We can have 2 kind of groups. Like this is kind of mind. Let's say this is mind, right? A mind we can divide into 2. It's kind of the sensory minds. It has 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A sensory minds, it has a 5, like a group. Also you can call, eyes consciousness, eyes mind, air, nose, tongue, and body. These 5 we call the sensory minds. Sensory mind. The second, then we call, the 6th mind is the number 6. Because there is a 5 minds, right? 5 sensory mind plus the 6 minds. So this is one of information. But there's another school we call Chitta Mantra school. For English they call mind only schools. The Chitta Mantra school is very popular in China. Not really popular in like Tibet. The most of the Chinese, the master scholar, they always explain about this, like 8 minds. The most Buddhist school, they talk about the 6 mind, not 7 and 8. So when we saw the 6 mind, right, the 5 sensory plus the 6 mind. So what is the differences between the sensory 5 minds and the 6 minds? We must know the differences between the 5 sensory minds and the 6 minds. The 5 sensory minds, of course, is arise based on 3 conditions. 3 conditions. In order to raise, the eyes consciousness, it must has a 3 conditions. One we call, also we can call object. And this book give a different name, but it's a very nice one. So one they call, also there was object, also it called, apprehending condition. So the 5 sensory mind must arising based on 3 conditions. The first condition is the apprehending condition. Also, one condition we call, like a 3 conditions. First is apprehending condition. The second they call immediate, also I. Immediate condition. And the number 3 they call empowering condition. Also, I think E. Yeah. This, apprehending condition. Then second is empowering condition. So second one immediate condition. Number third is empowering condition. So the six mind, so the five sensory must arising based on three conditions. Apprehending, immediate condition, empowering condition. Also, as well as the six minds also must arising based on apprehending condition, immediate condition, and empowering condition. But there's a difference between two of them. Now you should think about, that we have a five senses, like five sensations, five minds. Just take an example as the eyes consciousness. If there's no any kind of the physical things, then there will be like an eyes consciousness. For example, if there's no flower, then there's no eyes consciousness which is comprehend the flower. The five sensation or the five mind is very, very much depend on the apprehending phenomena, apprehend the phenomena. So look at the five senses is very much deep. It look like very much like the innocent child. When the innocent child, when they see the beautiful object, they always say, "I need this one. I want this one." Right? The five senses is very gross. Not only gross, it's also very always depends on the physical things. The eyes consciousness depends on the form. The air consciousness, the sound. Without sound, then there's no air consciousness. It's the same as other. But the sixth mind also need a kind of apprehending condition. But even though when the sixth mind comprehend a phenomena, it's not necessarily that the phenomena is existent. The five senses always apprehend the five different objects. There must be the five objects must be exist. Without exist, then there can't be like a existent phenomena. There can't be the five senses. Without sound, there are no air consciousness. Without smell, there's a kind of nose consciousness. It's very gross. This is arising, arising when the object is there. Even the object is there, if there is no kind of the eye faculty, then there is no eyes consciousness. Yes, the form is there, right? If there is no eyes faculty, then there is no eye consciousness. So eye faculty also very important, right? The object like a form is very important. Second, the eyes faculty is very important. Even though two of them is there, but if there is no immediate condition, then there is no eyes consciousness. So in order to have an eyes consciousness, we need an object, particular object kind of flower, like a shape. Then we need an eye faculty. Then we need an immediate condition, which is the moment, just second moment, the first moment of the eyes consciousness. This we call immediate condition. If three of together, then there is eyes consciousness. Okay, so we have the consciousness divided into two: sensory consciousness and six minds. Number 6. So the five sensory is always comprehend the object directly. They always perceive the object directly. The eye consciousness perceive the sound very directly. There's not any, another second condition. The sixth mind we can have a look at. Also, we can divide into two group. The one is the one type of the sixth mind must arise after the five sensory. Okay, what is this? This is sixth mind. Sixth mind we can divide into two groups. One is arising after or due to the five senses. There is another sixth mind. For example, look at, when you see a flower, after that, of course, you have a thought. You think, oh, the color of flower is so nice. The shape of flower is so nice. The smell is nice. Right? The size is perfect. All this thought is not sensory. It's sixth mind. It's arising after five sensation. Right? The sixth mind we call, some type of the sixth mind just arising after the five sensory. Another type of sixth mind just arising without depends on the five sensory. Think about, just think about, oh, I have to go to somewhere tomorrow. It's just arising, not depends on the five sensory. Right? So all the, like a negative emotion and the positive emotion, in the healthy mind, unhealthy minds, the destructive mind, everything must include in the sixth mind. Most of them, also we even say anger. Anger is not included into the five sensation, five minds. Also the anger is not included into much arising after the five sensory. So, okay, the consciousness is divided into two, sensory consciousness and the sixth mind. Within the sixth mind, there are two groups. One is arising after the five sensory. One is arising, not depends on the five sensory.
So Geshe, if your anger arises from seeing something bad that happens, is that then connected to the sensory because you've seen something happening which makes you angry?
Yeah, but yes, you, for example, when you see kind of your enemy, when you see your enemy, you get angry, right? But the angry is not really, yes, it's due to the seeing enemy you got angry, but the angry, the anger is not included in those five sensations. It's come due to the condition of the seeing the person. For example, because when you close your eyes, that moment there is no eye consciousness, right? When you close your eyes, there is no eye consciousness, but you still can feel anger is arising very strongly. So in order to reduce the particular anger, it's not enough just close your eyes. Then with the second condition which is able to reduce the anger, which one is compassion. So all doesn't matter the five sensation or the six mind is must arise based on three conditions. What is this? Apprehending condition, immediate condition, empowered condition. So this means the positive minds or negative minds, all minds must arise based on three conditions. Second, also we can, the minds or the consciousness we divide into like three. Not here we call six, right? 5 and 6. Now we can like divide three. minds also we divide into three groups. The direct perception, indirect perception, and the mistaken minds. Direct consciousness means some consciousness able to comprehend the object directly. For example, the five senses always perceive the object directly. When I say directly, of course you got some question. For example, in this moment, if you remember your particular object in your home, in your room, yes, you have a thought, right? You remember the object. It looks like you are seeing the object here, but you are not really seeing the object from here, right? What are you really seeing right now? For example, let's say, okay, of course, before you enter the class, you had seen the shop, right? Just imagine, the shop. It looks like you are really seeing, but you are not really seeing the shop. You just seeing the image of the shop. So between the shop and your mind, there's an image. That means your mind cannot see the shop directly, but even though you're able to see the shop through the image of the shop. So the five sensory always perceive the sound, smell from directly. The second, I said the indirect perception. For example, when you think about the impermanence, so you cannot see the impermanent through your naked eyes, right? You cannot see the impermanent. Yes, you can see the gross level of impermanent. You can see through your eyes. When you look at the wall and somebody break the wall, you can see the gross level of impermanent through your eye sensation. But the subtle level of impermanent you cannot see through your eyes consciousness. That's first you need to know what does mean impermanent. Then you practice few days, few months. Finally you can understand, yes, all the conditioned phenomena are impermanence. Then you can understand that gradually you can perceive the impermanence. But the impermanence you cannot see directly. You have to see the subtle level of impermanence through indirectly. Then, after a few months, few years, maybe after a few lives, if you practice impermanence continuously, if you practice the emptiness continuously, then one day you can see the impermanence directly through your sixth mind. You can see the emptiness through your sixth mind directly. So, okay, but direct perception, indirect perception, and mistaken minds. All the negative emotions we must include into mistaken mind, mistaken minds, or mistaken consciousness, or mistaken awareness. Here, one thing is very important: why we have mistaken minds, why we have a misperception. Anybody have an answer? Why we have a misperception?
Ignorance?
Yes, ignorance is the kind of the basis.
Past experience.
Past experience, yeah. Because there's so many condition, cause and condition for the misperception. When we have a misperception, sometimes we have a misperception due to the something wrong with the object. Sometimes we have the misperception, something wrong with the faculty. Sometimes we have a misperception due to the both sides, the object and subject side. Misperception. The the more you have a misperception, then the more you have a more problems. For example, when you drive the first time, not maybe a few years, the first time when you go by car, go by bus, go by ship, you can see all the trees and houses are moving, right? First time when you ride a car or go by jeep, when you look outside, you can see the trees, it is moving. So this perception is not due to the the ignorance. It is due to the, I think, the perception was the condition depends on what? What do you think? Do you understand what I'm saying? When you go by car, when you look at from the window, you can see the trees are moving. You stay there. Trees move because last time I went by the MRT, I know the places are not moving. I know the MRT is moving, but I really thinking, just so difficult to understand that the tension is not moving. So we have a misperception, right? So why we have this kind of misperception? So, no. Even though when you look at the the flower, there's you have an eye faculty. So when you think the trees are moving, at that moment also you have the eye faculty. So what is the difference is two of them? So this is, I think, so we have to know, yes, I have a misperception due to this, due to that. Also sometimes some people have a kind of very strange sickness. And they can see everything is very yellow. You can see, the person can see everything is so small. Sometimes the person can see everything is so big. This kind of, the misperception, because due to the sickness. The sickness change the faculty. When you wear yellow glass, you can see everything is yellow. So I'll tell you a few, condition why we have this kind of thing. So the misperception have all the misperception has always have a two kind of condition. One is immediate condition. One is kind of the root condition. When you have some misperception, this can be happen by two different ways. One is the immediate condition. One is the root condition. So the immediate condition must be the faculty, or must be the object side, must be the place side. So here I give an example. When you go by car, you can see everything is moving with the car. This kind of condition must be the faculty, which he mentioned. The faculty has some kind of effect to this faculty. That's why we can see things moving. And also, when you get very, when you get very strong angry to someone, that moment you can see the person is totally, different than the before. Right? When you get very angry, even though generally he or she is your best friend, the person, he or she is the most of the nice person for you, very nice for you. When you get very angry with her or him, then moment you can see the person is totally different. Then moment you have a misperception about the person. This kind of misperception is happened due to the anger. The anger destroys the correct perception which you had before. Then here we must learn, yes, the person is nice. It is not because from the person's side. Yes, the person is nice because your mind is very nice, very calm. In that moment you can see everybody is very nice, everybody is good. When your mind is got total destruction, when your mind is not calm, when you are very upset, you can see everything is ugly, everything is not perfect. Even though you meet same person yesterday and today, but from your perception you can see it's a big difference. That means here we have to learn, yes, the nice and beauty in ugly is not much depend on the other object side. It's very much depend our perception, our way of thinking. Because sometimes it's so difficult, I know, it is not right, but so difficult to believe it's not right, it's not correct. So the misperception have been due to the the faculty problem, due to the object side, or due to the both side. So here misperception, direct and indirect misperception. So misperception also, so we have two types of misperception. Misperception of the five faculties, misperception of the six mind. And the jealousy, anger, attachment, ignorance, also the six mind, also the kind of the mistaken minds. Mistaken minds. So how we can prove when you look at the particular object you saw yesterday, also you had seen today. But your point of view, from your point of view, the object is look like same, yes? Which is, for example, we had seen the Manjushri statue yesterday. We saw yesterday, also we still seeing the statue today. But from our perception, we can see yesterday Manjushri and today this Manjushri, they're exactly the same. We cannot see different, right? In the reality level, the Manjushri which we saw yesterday, which we seeing now, is totally different. We don't know this one. It's changing. And also, you met yesterday someone on the street, your friend. You met your friend yesterday, and you met again this morning. Then you say, oh, it's so nice to see you. I saw you today also, I saw you yesterday, right? So that moment we mix the time. We saw yesterday, you saw your friend yesterday, you saw your friend this morning. But in the reality, the friend which you saw yesterday, he or she have already gone. The friend which you saw this morning, the person is very fresh, very new one. But we mix the time, right? Time. So that's why we have a misunderstanding due to the mixing of the time. And also we have a misunderstanding about the reality because of due to the lack of understanding the reality. So all the negative emotion must include into the the mistaken minds. Then there's another way we can give. Okay, now look at the consciousness divided into two. Five faculties or 5 minds and the 6 mind. The 6 mind we can divide into two. One is just arising after the 5 sensation. One is arising just their own by own. And all the minds and consciousness must arise due to the 3 conditions. And also, all the consciousness we divide into 3: direct perception, indirect perception, and the mistaken minds. And also, another we can divide into 2. All consciousness divided into 2. 6, 3, and 2. Conceptual thoughts and non-conceptual. Conceptual thoughts and non-conceptual thoughts. There's no any consciousness, any kind of emotion which is neither conceptual thoughts nor non-conceptual thoughts. Also, the 5 faculties, also, non-conceptual thoughts. Also, okay, the 6 mind, also within the 6 mind, also we can divide into two groups. Also, even the 6 mind, some 6 mind can comprehend the object directly. For example, we believe, arha, arhado, samyasa, arha. All the arha can perceive emptiness directly through 5 senses, 6 minds, not the 6 faculty. And also, before we achieve, Buddhahood, our great compassion is always always be, conceptual thoughts. Now we have a sense of compassion, sense of calmness. The compassion and calmness is also must include into conceptual thoughts. Right now we have only, non-conceptual thoughts, the 5 senses. The 5 senses is always non-conceptual thoughts. I know it's a little difficult to understand. You just keep in your mind, maybe you can give a note, and in future for you very easy to understand. So any question?
Yeah, just like you said that our hearts perceive through their 6 mind.
6, number 6. Yeah.
So the conceptual thoughts are through the 6th mind,
Yeah.
and the non-conceptual through the
Yeah. Generally, concept.
senses.
Also, we can say another 2 group. I said, conceptual thought and non-conceptual thoughts. So within the, non-conceptual thoughts, you can divide 2. One is the, valid cognition, one is not valid cognition. Also within the, this conceptual thoughts, we have a 2 valid, non-valid. Within the, conceptual thoughts, we have a 2. Both have a 2, valid and non-valid. For example, when you sometimes, when you see, what we say? Let's say when you watch a movie, in your hall, in your room, when you watch the movie, you can see, it look like for you, you really seeing the person, right? But we cannot see the person in your room because this just kind of image. Can you see image? It's an image or the picture of the photo, picture of the person. This also, is non-conceptual thought or the mistaken mind. Also, the mistaken minds have, I think, another issue. When you look at a particular object, sometimes you have a right minds for the color, but you have a mistaken minds for the shape. Sometimes you have the right mind of the color and shape, but you have a mistaken mind of the size. When you look at the moon from the land, from the earth, so yes, we have a right perception about the color. We have the right mind of the shape, right mind for the shape, but we have a mistaken mind with the size. When we say mistaken mind, you shouldn't think I'm mistaken for everything. Mistaken mind. Okay, so now I will move to the different one. So now I think you got the paper, right? So next few days I will talk more about the mental factors. According to Abhidharma, there's 5 major texts, right? Very important 5 major texts. Pramana. The Pramana texts talk about the minds and mental factor and psychology, because psychology, minds, Pramana. Then second, Prajaparamita. The Prajaparamita always talk about the paths. Practice, 6 Prajaparamita, practice compassion, bodhicitta. First, Pramana, the Prajaparamita. Then number 3 is the Madhyamaka, Abhisamaya. They talk about the reality. Number 4, do you remember the number 4? Pramana, Prajaparamita, Madhyamaka. The number 4 is Abhidharma Gokha, Abhidharma Gosha, Abhidharma Gokha. They talk about the whole universal. And number 5, I think, Vinaya. Vinaya talk about the monks' rule and regulation. According to Abhidharma Gosha, there are 51 mental factors. 51. So this must be 51 or 52. Is mentioned 52? 51. 51 mental factors. So the person who really interested in meditation, that is so important to know the 51 or 52 mental factors. According to Abhidharma Gokha, there are 52, right? 52 or 51?
In here it says 2 have got 52 and 2 have got 51.
Yeah. So according to Abhidharma Gokha, there are 51 mental factors. A different tradition, there's 52 mental factors. Okay, so what are the 52 mental factors? There are actually, 6 groups. All the 52 or 51, we must include into the six group. Number 1, always present mental factors. Number 1, always present mental factors. Number first and second, object accreting mental factors, right?
Yes, sir.
May I have one copy of this one? Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, mental factor English file. They just post, everything on the list, but they don't put in the group. Yeah, they don't put in the group. Anyway, okay. So 52 or 51 mental factor we can put into 6 different group. 6 different group. The number 1 you can write down in your book. Always present mental factor. There are 5. Always present mental factors has 5 mental factors. The number 2, object as creating mental factors. It has 5.
Are we doing the Theravada or the Mahayana?
It is same, almost same. I think mental factor, mental evidence. Here look, in English they said, the number 1 is mental factors, mental events, mental state is kind of equivalent. List of the mental factor 10. 14 unwholesome. 25 beautiful mental factors. I think you are at Mahayana. I think page number 6. Page number 6. So first we finish this one. The 7 we told, but it is so important to go through the Theravada tradition too. The page number 6 they say here, 5 universal mental factors. Also it is same meaning, the always present mental factors. It has 5, right? Then next they moved, the object accreting mental factors. There's an object determining mental factor. It has 5. 5 object determining mental factor. It has 5 branches. And number 3, 11 virtuous mental factor. Also is a wholesome mental factors. It's same meaning. It has 11 branches. Number 3. Then number 4, six root unwholesome factor. 6 root unwholesome mental factor. The next one, 22nd unwholesome factors, mental factors, maybe 22nd degree also, 22nd degree unwholesome factor. The last one, 4 changeable mental factors. This is the last one, right? So we have, I think, 6 group. Right? Okay, so according to Mahayan Buddhist, how many mental factors are there? There are 51 mental factors. So how we can put into group? There are 6 group. Right? Number 1, 5 universal mental factors. All also there are different name, I think. So here what does mean, universal mental factors? Right, universal mental factor. There's mean, look at the number 1, number, contact, feeling, perception, volition, attention. There are 5, right? 5. What are the 5? Contact, second, feeling, third, perception, fourth, volition, intention. The 5th one, attention. These 5 mental factors we call the 5 universal mental factors. I think this is better than this name. Is mentioned here, the always present mental factors. It is same, okay? You don't have a confusion. The 5 universal mental factors and always present mental factor are same meaning. Okay, these 5, right? The contact, feeling, perception, volition or intention, attention, those 5 we call the universal mental factor. It is mean those 5 always, the mind always have this 5, any kinds of mind, positive mind, negative, whatever, all mind must have a 5 of them around. That means the mind is look like a king, look like a king. The 5 universal mental factors look like the audience, or who live around the king. What we call subject,
Subordinate. Yes.
subordinate.
Subordinate.
Yeah, look like the 5, the 5 universal mental factors look like always with the mind. For example, when your eyes consciously look at the garden, at the flower, that moment eyes consciousness just perceive the flower. Just perceive the flower, and then they feel, it look nice. You feel little bit kind of pleasant feeling. It's also feeling. It's not eyes, mind. You call mental factor, feeling. First you have to contact. The eyes consciousness must contact to the object, right? For example, if I don't touch my finger to the cup, I cannot feel it is kind of smooth or rough or cold and hot. First touch. My hand must touch to the object. Same. So you are like a consciousness. For example, attachment must touch the object, a beautiful object. Touch. Touch means not like really have to go. They have to look at the object. Touch. When you touch, of course, then this is the nature. Then maybe you can feel pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or just normal. When you touch to someone, when you touch your tongue to the like a kind of biscuit, cookie, first you have to touch, then you can feel it. This is my feeling. Then, number the perception. When your tongue touches to the cookie, then you can have a feeling. And number third, then you can see, yes, this is a nice feeling, it is pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, good feeling, bad feeling, right? Then you have a perception, this is good, this is bad, perception. Then intention. After perception, then you have an intention. What does mean intention? What is the difference between intention and attention? Intention and attention. In English term.
What you mean to do.
Intention means
What
you.
you're going to do.
Yeah, you really want continuously. You want to do. You really don't want to lose the test. Intention. Attention means then you always looking there. Always looking there. For example, so you really want to buy very softness like a blanket. So blanket is there. And when you touch the blanket, first you have to touch, right? So your sensation must touch to the object. Then you have a feeling, soft, nice or kind of feeling. Then after that you have a perception. Oh, this is nice, this is not nice, this is good, this is bad. Number third. After number third, then number four. Number four is intention. Intention means if you feel it's really nice, you don't want to lose this kind of feeling. If you feel the feeling is no good, you don't want to touch again. Intention. The last one, attention, means when you feel it's so nice, you always want it. Always want this kind of feeling. So this means here we can learn one thing, oh, I really like it. Say usually we say, okay, I really like it pasta. I like pizza. I like noodle. You really, that means you really not looking the shape, the color. What are you really looking? You are looking the feeling, right? When you eat pasta, you feel so happy. You don't want to lose this kind of feeling. When you lose this kind of feeling, then you are not happy, right? So that's why I mentioned before I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm not happy. That means you always you need not more than less, only the feeling, nothing more and less. Feeling, or just feeling or memory. And also, I really want to eat kind of particular food. Why do you want to eat the particular food? Why? Because when you eat the particular food which is you like, you feel so happy. You have a very stable feeling. When you don't get the food, the particular food, you get very upset because you are losing the feeling. That's why feeling is that's when all the mind must have these five faculties or mental events, mental faculty. The contact, number second is feeling, number third is perception, number fourth is volition, and number fifth is the attention. Rekpa, Soropa, Geshe, Sempa, Rekpa. Of course, I think it's everybody easy to understand contact. What does mean contact? Feeling is easy. Perception is easy. Right? You have a good perception or bad perception. The volition, intention is a little difficult to understand. Soro, Rekpa, Soropa, Geshe, Sempa. Intention is intention meaning you always holding the particular object or particular feeling in your mind, intention. Attention means you are looking the particular feeling or particular object you are looking, you always want this one. This is what we call the 5 universal mental factors. This means the eyes, mind, the 6, all the 6 mind must have a contact, feeling, perception, volition, attention. Right? Any question? Okay. So, feeling, when we say feeling, there are 3 types of feeling. Pleasant, unpleasant. No. First feeling must have 2 types of feeling. Physical feeling and mental feeling. Physical, which is in the feeling which is very much depend on the physical body or the 5 sensory. Another feeling is very much depends on the 6 mind. For example, when you look at a beautiful garden, you feel happy. This moment there are two types of feelings happen. One is your eyes consciousness have very stable feeling. After that, you have another feeling which very much depends on the 6 mind. Feeling, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and the very neutral. Not pleasant, not unpleasant feeling. It's the middle one. So I think most of you heard about the Goenkaji. He was one of the famous meditation teacher. When he explained about the 12 link interdependent, he didn't start from the ignorance. He started from the feeling. There's a 12 link, right? 12 link interdependent. How we are born, how we will die, how we will born again. 12 link interdependent. Goenkaji, when he explained about the 12 link interdependent, first he explained from the feeling, touch and feeling. Then look at. It's for me. It really makes sense about starting from feeling. When somebody said bad thing about you, you feel get upset. Why? If somebody really praise you, somebody say, oh, you are so nice person, you are really good person, you feel so happy. But nothing you're going to gain, nothing you're going to lose. But still feel happy, so feel upset. Why? What do you think? Somebody praise you, oh, you are nice, you are good, you are compassionate, so you feel so happy. But it doesn't make any difference about your job, your position, nothing, your health. If somebody said really bad about you, you feel very upset. But it doesn't change anything, your name or your job, your position, nothing. Why we are very upset sometimes, why we are somebody very happy, why? Somebody say, you are really bad, you're no good, we became very upset because we thought I'm very good, I'm very nice. Right? And somebody say, oh, you are nice, you're so good, then you thought, yes, I am. That's why you feel so happy.
So they're changing your perception.
Yeah, changing your perception about you. That's why as a Buddhist, as a follower of Buddhist, as a, wondering about Buddhist, it is so important. You always have to remind as a kind of rock. If there's a heavy rock, if there's a weather is so cold, the rock doesn't care. But the weather is so hot, the rock is remain same. If there's a windy, raining, but the rocks remain always same. That's why we have to learn how to remain as a rock. Somebody really praise you, you're so nice, you shouldn't be excited about it. If somebody said, oh, you are very bad. You shouldn't be upset, just remain as a rock. So, the feeling is, so also we have, very pleasant feeling about the name and position, about the money, about the family, about the country. But, most of the mental problem, I think arising based on kind of feeling. So we have two types of feeling, physical feeling and mental feeling. And the physical feeling is very much depend on the real kind of the solid things. When you have very beautiful music, you feel so happy. When you have very rough kind of rock kind of sound, you are unhappy. It's very much depend on the external phenomena. But the mind feeling is not like that. For example, when you develop sense of compassion, you feel so happy. But that kind of feeling not depends on the external phenomena. It's just you making your own happiness through through develop compassion, through reduce anger. It's not depends. It's not as same as the physical feeling. The number third, perception. I think perception also, one of the important and the factors for us giving happiness and also suffering. Perception. So, do you know what does mean perception? Can you give any example? Perception. What does mean perception? How you can look.
Perceive it.
Yeah, perceive.
Understand it.
How you can understand.
It's what you think is.
Well,
Yeah.
right. So how you can have a percept, right? How you can have percept about something. So if you have always nice perception for everybody, if you have a nice perception for everybody, then there's no more any enemy. If you have a right perception or right thoughts for all phenomena, then there's no more mistaken mind. If there's no more mistaken mind, then there's no more, no more. If there's always right perception, right thoughts, then there's no wrong action, mistaken action. When you have always right action, right perception, then you have always right fruit, right result, and then there's no more kind of suffering. All the suffering, because we have a lot of suffering, we have a lot of problems because due to the big misperception. Sometimes people saying different thing, we hearing different thing. Sometimes the people act very nicely, but we have a different perception. They thought, oh, right? That's when whenever you go, whenever you see, whenever you do something, you always have to be very forceful, very thoughtful. If your mind is too agitated, too kind of hurry, then you always confront with the problems because you always have a misperception. So perception is another important. The last one, intention. Sorwa dushe semba repa sorwa dushe semba. And the intention is always you kind of remembering or always wanting intention. Attention means then always looking at. That means these five are we call universal mental factors. Universal means these five mental factors always have to be with the minds all minds has this kind of 5 mental factor. It doesn't matter negative minds or positive minds. Even the bodhicitta has the 5, the mental factors. Contact, feeling, perception, volition, or intention or attention. So the easy way we can understand the 5 perception, as I said, when you look at a flower, the mind just perceives the flower. And then, perceive the flower, then with the eyes consciousness contact with the flower. The second, then there's a feeling. After feeling, there's a perception. After perception, there's intention. After intention, there's attention. There's been the minds, all the minds and the 5, the universal 5 universal mental factors never be apart, always together, never be apart, never be separate. Okay, universal means these 5 are all mind has these 5 mental factors. These 5 mental factors are referred to universal or omnipresent. Omnipresent. This is omnipresent or always present, because they operate in the way of every mind situation. If any one of these factors is missing, right? Any of the missing, feeling, contact will be missing, there's no feeling. If there's no feeling, there's no perception. If there's no perception, there's no intention. Let's be here. If any one of these factors is missing, then the experience of the object is incomplete. In order to have comprehend fully the object, we must have the universal 5 mental faculties. The experience of the object is incomplete. For example, when you look at the flower, if the eyes consciousness no contact to the flower, then there's no feeling. If there's no feeling, there's perception. This means the 5 mental faculties always be with the mind. All mind has those 5 mental faculties. What are them? Contact. How you can call in Chinese contact? Contact. Chinese. Huh? Anyway, yeah. If you difficult to understand, then you just change the word into Chinese. It's easy. Okay, so any question? What time is it now? You have time, right?
10 minutes.
Okay, that's good. Any question before we move another topic? No? Very clear? Oh, that's good. Yeah. The next one here. If there's no, I think it's first there was Sanskrit name. Spasa, contact. Vidana, feeling. Right? Then samajana is perception. There's chittana, volition. Masikra is the attention. It's the Sanskrit or Pali. If there is no a contact, then there would be no basis of perception. So when we contact with someone, then we have a perception. If there is no vedana or feeling, then there is no relation of the object. So you can read this over here. It's a very nice one. The next one, 5 object determining mental factor. The determining means the 5, the 5 faculty always with the kind of the next 5 faculty always be the kind of positive minds. The 5 object determining mental factor vasayantra are desire, decision, mindfulness, wisdom, concentration. Limba, Murba, Temba, Dingisha. Yeah, desire. Desire number one. So we have a two types of desire, positive and negative. Then decision, the mindfulness, number three. Number four is wisdom. Number fifth is samadhi, is concentration. So these are we call in the 5 object determining mental factor. I mean, these are always with the positive minds. I will check this book, there is been differently. It's a contact. This, according to this paper, the 5 methods that they call it, the contact is same. The feeling is same. Intention is same. Attention is same. One is different here is a discriminate. Here, perception, right? Perception and discriminate are different. Here, what does mean contact? Contact is past occurrence in the mental process. It is the simple act of mind meeting object. Contact means the minds would always have to contact to the object. Here's a 5 object determining mental factor. Here's this book says the object accreting mental factor is similar, right? Same accreting. The name is little different, but the meaning is same. He said desire, but this book said aspiration. I say aspiration is better than the desire, aspiration. The number 2 is appreciation. And this is the decision, appreciation. Number 3 is, I think, recollection. It's a mindfulness. Number 4 is concentration. Number 5 is okay, concentration and intelligence or wisdom. The name is different, but the meaning is same. Okay, so we just stop here, and we can recite the Shanti. And everybody, when you have a time, please read, things detailedly. I guess nice outlook. So I'm not sure this book is available in Singapore or not. It's Buddhist psychology. It's a kind of new book written by Geshe from Saranac.